It turns out humans have a third drive beyond our first drive, which is the biological drive for food, water, and sex, and the second drive, the drive of the environment, to seek rewards and avoid punishment. The third drive is intrinsic. The scientist who discovered this drive described it by saying humans have an inherent tendency to seek out novelty and challenges, to extend and exercise their capacities, to explore and to learn. That scientist did an experiment with puzzles where on certain days he gave a monetary reward to participants for successfully completing puzzles, and on other days he didn't. But crucially, on all days, he created a fake 8-minute gap of free time in the experiment where participants were told they could do whatever they wanted, and there were magazines available, and the puzzles were still there during this gap. After participants completed a puzzle, he said he needed to leave to enter the time it took them to complete the puzzle into a mainframe computer in the other room, which would then determine the next best puzzle for them to solve. But instead, he went into a side room with a one-way mirror and observed the participants for exactly 8 minutes. On the first day of the experiment, the test group of participants and the control group were not given any monetary rewards. On the second day, the test group was given money for completing puzzles, but the control group still wasn't. On the third day, neither of the groups were given rewards. The third day is where things got interesting. As expected, on the first day, the test group and control groups both continued playing with the puzzles in this free period for the same amount of time, for around 3.5 to 4 minutes. As intuition might suggest, on the second day, the reward led the test group to play longer, for 5+ minutes, perhaps practicing for the next paid puzzle. The control group, which wasn't paid, played for about the same amount of time as they did on the first day. But, maybe counterintuitively, on the third day with no reward, the test group played less than ever, around 3 minutes on average. The control group actually played for a little longer than on previous days. Pink says this could have been a statistical quirk, or maybe they were becoming more engaged. But this doesn't make sense if you believe people are only motivated by biology and the environment. The theory for why this happens is that if you use extrinsic motivation to motivate people to do something they naturally want to do, to grow and learn, you are taking away their autonomy to do that. Autonomy is the desire to direct our own lives. This doesn't mean extrinsic motivation is bad. It's actually effective for routine work like that which was more common in the 20th century. But extrinsic motivation for creative intellectual work, which is more common in the 21st century, is counterproductive. It turns out autonomy, instead of money, is one of the 3 ways you actually motivate people intrinsically. So, autonomy, mastery, and purpose are the 3 ways you promote it. Autonomy, again, is the desire to direct our own lives. Mastery is the urge to make progress and get better at something that matters. And purpose is the yearning to do what we do in the service of something larger than ourselves. I love it. The example of intrinsic motivation in this study and how money can be demotivating is a great counter to the fear that universal basic income, UBI, will cause people to be lazy. In fact, money might cause people to be lazy. My overall takeaway from this book is that this is another example that money isn't everything. I like thinking about the root words in capitalism and socialism. Capital refers to private property. It's about accumulating it. Social and socialism refers to people. I'm not necessarily arguing for socialism, but perhaps we should focus more on people than property and accumulation. Adam Smith, the father of capitalism, said, "It is not from the benevolence of the butcher, the brewer, or the baker that we expect our dinner, but from their regard to their own self-interest. We address ourselves not to their humanity, but to their self-love, and never talk to them of our own necessities, but of their advantages." Adam Smith didn't know money could demotivate people. So if we continue not to address people's humanity, their intrinsic motivation, we will be held back from solving important problems like climate change. We must acknowledge the shortcomings of capitalism as it was envisioned and modify it or change how we organize ourselves. People's humanity matters. Thank you for watching. If you like this, please like, subscribe, and share. Until next time, I'm John Breyer. Peace.